Hello and welcome to the AVLand video guide for the Pioneer SC-LX82 home cinema receiver. We're going to talk through some of the features of this receiver, its connections and its setup menus.
The SC-LX82 is the direct replacement for the Pioneer SC-LX81 receiver. It has 1080p video scaling, Ethernet for streaming audio across your home network, and a USB port for iPod Digital. This amplifier has 5 HDMI inputs and is 190 watts of digital amplification per channel. Moving to the front here, you can see the main standby and on-off switch underneath the input selector on the left-hand side. You've also got the large high contrast display in the middle, just above the blue power indication light. On the right-hand side, you can see the master volume control, and then just moving you under the flap, you can see the Studios tuning logo just on the bottom right. Under the flap you can see the headphone outputs, the setup mic, there's the USB input for the iPod Direct, which controls modern iPods digitally with no need for an external dock, the front HDMI input, and then your navigational and setup buttons. Moving into the rear of this unit, this unit weighs about 18.5 kilos. You can see the power cable slot at the top right, and then you've got the pre-outs and the multi-channel input on the right hand side, and you've got your analog S-video and composite video inputs along with the analog audio ins and looped outputs there as well. You can see the component inputs, so it's like a 360 Xbox, and it's also got a Zone 2 component output along with Zone 2 and Zone 3 composite video out. You see the HDMI inputs and dual outputs there next to the digital SP-Diff audio inputs and the LAN connection on the bottom left. And this unit actually has the sampling rate converter from the SC-LX90, which will upconvert all digital audio to 192 kHz. I'm just going to show you now how to set the unit up for banana plugs. So all you need to do is just take a small screw, drive it into the small black bung in the speaker terminal, and then just remove the banana plugs like so, remove the bungs like so, and then the amplifier is ready to accept a 4mm banana plug input. So then you just take your banana plug, as you can see here, and you just slot it in to the required terminal like so. Banana plugs will give you a superior connection and stops the cable degrading.
Okay, now we're going to take you under the lid of the Pioneer SC-LX82.
Moving inside the SC-LX82 now, you can see this is a very well packed unit. The amplification boards, which usually we can see at the front, are actually at the bottom of this unit. You can just about see the casing for them it's a sort of grey box just to the left of the board we're looking at now, because of course this unit has digital amplification. Moving into the front, now you've got the main transformer for the unit there, which obviously powers all of the main components. And then actually the HDMI board is on the side of the unit here, just to our right. It's just moving into shot now, which will handle all of the video scaling as well. You can just see the HDMI inputs now appearing on the right as we move up there, and of course the dual outputs at the top. You see it's quite a well packed together unit, offering pretty good value for money. Moving on to the menus of the unit now. First off, the main menu is the auto setup, the multi-channel acoustic room calibration. So you've got your different memory presets here, so you can have up to 6 different calibration settings, depending on what you want to use them for, and then how you're going to have your speakers set up. So as a 5.1 with a separate 2-channel system, running a separate zone, or you can buy up your front speakers using the extra setup of amplifiers at the rear to power your front speakers, which will give you a much better sound when you come to listen to stereo, just for normal music. And then you've got the auto setup here so you can just change the speaker settings automatically and which one you want to do, which auto setup you want to do through here. So you can set, I want to do everything, or just the speaker settings, just the channel level, just the speaker distance, and so on. And then whether you want to, you set it up as THX speaker system. It keeps asking us to connect the microphone, which obviously we've not done at the moment. And you can also do that manually as well. So you can go in and fine tune the channel level. And it just warns you obviously that there are going to be quite loud test tones that come through here when you do it. So first off you have to set your standard. So just like a reference point, which will be your front left. And you see that's measured in 0.5 decibel increments. And then once you've got the level you want for your left-hand speaker, it will set the rest of them up to that speaker. You see we're just using that as a 5.1 at the moment. And you can adjust every channel that you wish to. And then that will, as it's winding down now, to go back out into the auto menu. And you go into the speaker distance here, and again we have to wait for the test tones, and then you want the speaker distance set up from where you're sitting as your listening position. Again, you want to set a reference channel and do that in 1 centimetre increments. And again, it's the same sort of thing as doing with the channel level, but just for the distance. Best thing to do is just get a tape measure and quickly jot down from where your speaker position is. And you can adjust the standing wave control filter. So you can see that the setup for this amplifier is quite in depth, and you get these lovely coloured graphs. You don't tend to see a sort of full colour menu system very often in AV receivers. But then again, you can just set this per channel. So you can set the centre frequency and the bandwidth. And you see how this changes the section on the graph, and you've got 3 different sections. You've got 3 different filters that you can apply. And then the attenuation there as well. Let's put that back up to 5. The attenuation as well, which you'll see, this will drop down, the red bar there for filter 1. And then we'll move up to the second filter, and you can apply the same thing. So the centre frequency of that, you can see how it shifts it along the X and the Y axis. So you've got your decibels, your volume on the X axis on the left, and then across the Y axis you've got your frequency. And again, it can shift it to the left, or left for the lower the frequency and right for the higher the frequency. You can just see how each of those alters. Yeah, and then if you just drop that back down, you can see how it will just cause that dip in the middle. And then you can apply this across your different channels.